Hey Honest community, before we dive into this episode, we've got a quick free favour to ask. If you enjoyed the Honest Property podcast, please hit like, follow and subscribe wherever you're listening from. It helps us grow, reach more people and bring on guests that you want to hear from. Thanks for being a part of this. We appreciate you more than you know.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Honest Property podcast. We are hosts Becky and Ruth, and on this podcast we love talking all things holistic wealth building, property and business predominantly. And on today's episode we are honoured to have lovely guest Aviram Shahar, who is the owner, the
CEO, co-founder and CEO.
of Lendlord.
Lendlord, which we use this platform ourselves, and we have been looking for something like this for such a long time. So when we found Lendlord, we were
relieved
that we found this system, and it saved us so much time, so much admin time on our end.
So welcome, Aviram.
Hey, welcome, Ruth and Rebecca. Thanks for hosting me. Happy to join this conversation and speak about property and technology together. I'm so happy that you found Lendlord useful for your own needs, and this was our main goal, since the beginning. So yeah, happy to hear and happy to have this conversation today.
It's really lovely to meet the face behind the business, because a lot of these tools, you don't know
who's built them,
who
came up with the idea.
Right. Yes. So real people usually behind the scenes, and we have a great team. Product designers and engineers, and also on the business side. And I think the main thing is like to get the feedback from the users. So I think since the beginning we got lots of feedback from our users that helped us shape the platform, add more features, tweak some of the functionality, add functionality and more. So we always try to be in touch with our users and hear their feedback, hear the market and react. And this was the way since the beginning. We're still doing it.
I love that. So what made you decide that there was a gap in the market that needed Lendlord? How did Lendlord come about? What was the story, the origin of Lendlord?
It's interesting because the first issue we found, like the first problem we wanted to solve, was related to finance. So we understood that for property investors and landlords, it's not so easy to understand their finance options, either if it's for a new purchase, for a buy-to-let mortgage, or if they just need to refinance one of their properties. Because there are so many lenders out there, and each lender has its own lending criteria. So we said, okay, we can utilize technology to help those users, those landlords and property investors, to find what options are available for them. So we developed the initial tool was just, let's take the data, the portfolio, and do all the tests that any lender will do, stress test, and measure the leverage of the portfolio and match them to all the criteria of all the lenders in the market, and then also fetch the products. And then basically we can show the landlord which products are available for him for a new purchase or for a remortgage. And this functionality actually still exists in Lendlord. This is we started with that. But what happened is that when we started to onboard users to use the platform, we realized that it's more than just the finance side, or providing them with options for mortgages. They actually started to use the My Portfolio page to manage the properties. So we've added more data points to help them manage all their data, all the details they need to store in each property. And then we've added the compliance module, so user can track due dates and be on top of things and track the important events that they need to take action on, such as it can be EPC, gas safety certificate that need to be renewed, mortgage product that is about to expire, landlord insurance that needs to be renewed, all of this stuff. And then it just started to evolve from there. Then we've added the My Documents, so you can store your documents, the tenants and the tenancies module, and more and more and more. So it started with a very specific problem, but then started to evolve, and now we look at it as a one-stop shop for property investor landlords to manage their property investments in one place.
It is. So Ruth and I use Lendlord, and it has been such a such a relief, because we started our landlord journey about 10 years ago, and we were just using folders,
Yeah.
and paper was
and
everywhere,
things would get lost,
and your personal calendar and your work calendar were all just together,
and then you try and use another system, and then you have multiple systems, and it was just trying
everything everywhere, and then you forget to put the gas guy came, and you forgot to put
update it in
put the thing in the calendar, and it was just a mess. It was like we were always chasing the. I will cut that out of this. But we were always chasing, when things were meant to happen. And there are so many responsibilities as a landlord. If you miss out on something and this isn't automated for you, Landlord has actually made it so much easier for us to see and forecast. Okay, we need to schedule in somebody this day. Actually, you've got that automated in the system as well, don't you?
Yeah.
For you could get contractors to do it for
Yeah,
you.
yeah. It's an option. Yeah, you can do it by yourself, or you can use the system to schedule an engineer if you need. The good thing with Lendlord that you have the tasks that basically being created automatically from your My Portfolio data, but you can also add tasks manually if you want. And then you can always see what is next. So we have also a calendar view of the tasks. So as you mentioned, you don't need to use a different calendar. You can see, okay, so in this month I need to order gas certificate for this property. I need to do midterm inspection, for instance, if you want to do like inspect your property. I need to do a rent review for this property, and I need to get an offer for product transfer or remortgage for my mortgage on this property. So so basically you can be on top of things in one place.
Yeah, with
And
so much automation. I would
yeah,
also add to that as well, like even if you didn't manage your own portfolio and you used an agent, it keeps to be reminded of when things need doing. It helps you keep on track with your management that they're actually doing the job too. Because we've been in a situation where
even if you're not self-managing and you've delegated that part to someone else, they've forgotten, or they're not on top of
inspections, which is what's happened to us with a few of
yeah,
our properties.
yeah. No, of course, like you have another view, but I think that there isn't more than that, because I think that the agent will you basically manage several things that mainly related to manage the property, but you need to store all the information, the documents, and you can also, but also in terms of cash flow, it's something that usually you need to manage as a property investor, like as a financial investor. So we have the cash flow module, so you can link your bank account, and
I
then
love that. I love getting the
you
notification.
use open banking.
Yeah,
Ah,
yeah. We get the notifications. Oh, rent's been paid, and it's just a nice message to get on your phone.
But it's nice, it's all on one system
yeah,
to be able to do that.
yeah. So this functionality, for instance, it's not something that you expect your property manager to do, because if you just received a payment, or you need to like all the spending, if you paid your accountant, or if you paid for the landlord insurance, all of this stuff is in one place. And then we have the interactive report. I don't know if you saw it on the manage section. I really like this module because it shows you high level overview of your entire portfolio, and then if you go property by property, you can see the performance of each property.
I love that.
Yeah, how much income this property generated, how much expenses I needed to spend this year, in terms also like including one-time expenses and things like that. It will take into account vacancy, because if there was no tenant for 1 month, then the rental income will be lower. And then you can see, okay, perhaps there is a problem with this property, i perhaps I need to do some changes, perhaps I need to sell this property and buy a different one. And then it comes the invest part of the platform, because this is like another evolution of the platform. At some point we realized that our users, they also want to grow their portfolios, and also the platform can be relevant for newbies, people just want to get started in property. And then we've added the invest part of the platform. So we started with the deal analyzer, which we enhanced a lot from that point. So it's now support different strategies: buy to let, BRR, flip, and also the AI. Now we will speak about AI, but basically is now embedded into the deal analyzer, and we have also the sourcing tabs and the sourcing alerts. So we also have the module for users to grow their portfolio even further or make changes. Like you can sell this property and buy a different one that might get you a better yield. So it's also something that is in the platform right now.
I love that you found the solution for all the problems
Yeah.
that we have.
Basically, a lot of it is just saving a lot of time, because we have when we first learn how to invest in property, we have all these spreadsheets
Yeah.
and are all separated, and it takes time to fill in, like,
And
and
we're
do all
digging through Zoopla and Rightmove, whereas Landlord just brings you the deal. But it's
Yeah.
also
By the way, we just added a new feature. It's available for premium users. So basically, you can take a URL from Rightmove or on the market, for instance, and then you paste it on the deal analyzer, and then the deal analyzer reads the data from it. And also, if you select BRR strategy, it will try to assess how much refurbishments you need to do and the GDV based on
I
information.
love that.
Yeah, this is something new.
how does it
It's a
do
better, it's a better version. It's work with AI. It's a better version. So there are times that it works, there are times that it doesn't work, but we keep working on it. Because of that, we release it only to the premium users right now to get feedback. So you
that?
should try this and tell us what you think. But I think that, like, if we speak about AI, I think that this is the next step of I think any industry, but specifically the prop tech and property. Because I think with AI you can do so many things. And if we speak about sourcing and deal analysis, um, we are going to release hopefully in the next few weeks, like something that can also analyze pictures, photos of the property, because there are so many details when you even just take a picture of the living room or the kitchen and let AI understands what renovation, what refurbishment you need to do to this kitchen, and perhaps in different levels. If you want something basic, if you want something fancy, or something in the middle. And then based on the area, let's say you are in London or you are in Manchester, it can also fetch data about the building costs and like what will be the cost of this refurbishment. And I think the world is going there. I think that
I
as
think that's
much
amazing.
yeah, because like you can see that so much work that we used to do with people now is being made by technology. I don't think that the people are not relevant anymore. I think that the role is changing. I think that people will need now to review the insights and and perhaps improve them. And also, I think that they will be focused on more valuable things than just do the hard work of fetching all the information, analyzing, because this is like not the valuable things.
Like doing all the viewings as well. I was just thinking, with the system that you've created, say it would be very good for someone who didn't live near an area where they were able to invest, but there's a way of using AI where you can still employ someone to do the viewing for you, but you're able to use AI from the other side of the country or on another part of the world to be able to piece it together, but you can still use someone as a human being to still go
To
out
hand
and
see the B's and
Definitely.
the keys.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not replacing; it's just
No.
making
It's
life.
saving everyone time. Like
Yeah,
if you're gonna get
Yeah.
contractors to
Yeah.
come in, you want it to be worth their
time.
time to go to the property and do the job.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that if you can get, let's say that this guy that is going out to inspect the property, just streams the data into a system instead of just giving you a phone call and then you speak for half an hour and trying to understand what he saw,
Yeah.
or just look at on pictures that he sent you. The alternative is that this information will be fed into a system like such as Lendlord, for instance, and you just get a summary in the insights and the potential schedule of works in different scenarios, and what are the prices around the area, which we already do now with the comparable
Yeah.
feature. So basically your time will go more to make decisions, to review the insights, rather than let's arrange the data, let's arrange on the spreadsheet. That usually this takes you like, I don't know, 2 hours, and then based on it, then you need to make the decision. But perhaps you can make more decisions, perhaps you can do more viewings, perhaps you can more like optimize the process. Because let's say that you have time just to view 3 properties, perhaps you'll have time to view 6 properties, and then you can choose 1 out of 6, not one out of 3. So there are more options. So I
And
think that the AI will help you. Yeah, it will help you do better with your time, basically.
yeah, because out of everything, time is the most valuable thing. And if
Absolutely.
there's a tool that you've created, why wouldn't you? It
Why
makes
wouldn't you
sense.
utilize that tool?
Exactly. I think this is the thing. I think that AI, by the way, we see it today. Like, I believe you use ChatGPT or Claude for regular tasks. For me, it's valuable not just for property, but if I need to learn something about area that I'm not familiar with, I can fetch all the data, and now you can do deep search, and you can also get information from the web and then analyze it with AI.
Yeah.
Emails. I'm using like ChatGPT like to help me, phrase professional emails. If I want to level up the language or even just save me time, because you know what? Yesterday I received this long email, and now I needed like to phrase an answer. I just copy paste, put ChatGPT, please phrase me an answer, and the prompt I wrote in like very high level what I want to say, and instantly you have the email that you can send out now as a reply, which usually would take me, I don't know, 20 minutes. Now it took me 5 minutes. So it's and what we want to do with Lendlord AI is to take these capabilities but integrate them into your account. So for instance, when you now view a listing on Lendlord, you can click on Summarize with AI, get a summary, ask follow-up questions, deep dive into things that you want to get more insights. And then you can also ask Lendlord AI to phrase an email to an agent. So you can do it also with ChatGPT, but when you do it from Lendlord, then the bot has all the information about this listing. So the email can be specific about this property, and you can in the prompt say, please highlight in the email that I want to understand this point I didn't understand. Or you can also instruct the bot to rephrase the email specifically to this property, to this agent, and based on the information that perhaps you are still missing and you want to understand from this agent. So I think this is the now we have ChatGPT, Claude, the global AI tools. I think what we'll start to see now is more platforms integrated those tools or like their own LLMs to be more specific to the vertical they operate in. So like be specific to property, specific to health, to medical and fintech, all of this stuff. So we'll start to see more dedicated AI engines or LLMs for specific verticals. And this is exactly what we're trying to do with Landlord AI.
It's just so smart. It's just so smart, and I agree with. And when you're using a platform that's able to hold that the like
Niche
the
data,
niche data
yeah.
in there, you're not spreading it everywhere else. You're keeping it dedicated to that industry,
Yeah,
which then actually makes it really helpful.
absolutely. I think this is like, and also more accurate, more like you basically, it's being trained on this industry, for instance, property. So it's more relevant as well.
Yeah, and I think the thing that when it comes to property investing that takes the most time is analyzing the deals, trying to figure out how much the refurb is going to cost,
Right.
Going out to the viewings
and just doing loads of viewings that you're not even sure are worth doing. Whereas this claims so much of your time back. And I think it's important to remember why, at least for us, why we started property investing in the first place was to be able to take more time back to enjoy the things that we actually like doing. And
also think with saving all that time, it makes you a better decision maker. You're not so emotionally attached to each deal. You can in plain sight see it on a system that says,
This is a good one.
this is a good one, this is not. You don't. It can be really easy, especially if you're a first-time investor, to get quite emotionally attached to the first deal. We did, because it took us so long to find that first one.
The effort,
The amount of effort, the going to all the viewings, being told no, that offer was rejected because you put it too low. That this saves so much time and like heartache to just be able to do it efficiently.
Hey guys, if you're new to property investing, we know exactly how hard it is to figure out where to start. That's why we created the Beginner's Roadmap. It's your guide to mastering the fundamentals so that you can move forward with clarity and confidence. Plus, you'll gain access to our free community for ongoing support. Just hit the link in the show notes. Now, let's jump back into this episode.
Exactly. I think this is the thing. And it's interesting. Like the world has changed, I think, in the last 10 years. I think that the first change we saw was COVID. That this also helped, the prop tech industry, because people started to be more online and start to use more digital tools. You can see it on the auction houses. That, like more and more auction houses started to launch their online auction house. It's not like the Hammer with the, like the large events that
They
people
don't have
just,
to hustle it.
bid with by their mouth. And now, so this was the first, I think, push the, like, for needed the industry to go digital. And now the AI is changing it again. I think that it's like another evolution of this, prop tech industry. And I think this is the thing, like it will help you property investors focus more on decisions making, less on doing the hard work to get the information, get the data. So
Yeah, I think we've also talked as well that from a woman perspective, it's also a lot more inclusive of women being able to use digital software to be able to open the investing space for them, because a lot of young mothers,
yeah,
mothers with young children may not be able to go and do as many viewings or be able to have the time to go out like their partner to be able to find these deals, but having it digitally and so efficiently helps save that time.
yes,
And we find, especially in the property space or just business space in general, it's not, sometimes it does keep women and especially mothers out of that space because of the lack of technology that's able to enhance that experience for them.
yeah. So, by the way, for that we have this, I don't know if you used it, the sourcing alerts on the sourcing tabs. So we built that just for, like, to help busy people just to define their search criteria. So, for instance, I'm interested in this area, this type of properties, XYZ, this range of prices. And then you just, like, you click save, and then you start to get notifications when there are new properties in matching your criteria. So
Amazing.
you
Just get
also don't need
a
to
beautiful
search. You
message on
just
your
get,
phone.
So is this Lendlord's not
yeah,
just
you
a
get it on
platform?
in mobile push. Yeah.
Lendlord's not just a platform for investors like landlords. It can be used for sources as well. If
Yes,
you are running a sourcing business.
yes, we do have Sourcer as users. They would use, of course, the invest part of the platform mainly, but it's quite enhanced because they can source properties. They can now phrase emails and send them to agents using the Lendlord AI. They can generate reports, which is, and now we included also the postcode information in the report, so you can do more enhanced report. So you can create a report, and you can also put your logo on. It's like also a new feature. If you have brand logo that you want to use, not the Lendl logo, you can, as a premium user, you can put your logo on the report and then send it to others. And then you can store this property on the My Portfolio under the prospects properties
Mm.
if you select on the drop-down prospects only. So you can also manage all the prospects, and yeah, so it's also, we have users that are basically packagers or sourcers that use Lendlord. Having said that, the Lendlord was designed to help like the landlords and property investors. So this is like the main, like when we designed the platform, it was for those users, but we do have sources that use the platform. So I think that there are, the functionality is there.
It's
Yeah.
so it really has everything. And you know, one of my favorite things about it is you can see if you held on to your portfolio for another 10 years what that will look like, and
Yeah.
that's very encouraging. If
Especially
I
if
have
you're
a
new to
bad day, I
investing.
look at that, I'm like, it's okay.
Okay. Yeah, it takes into account the market. So when we do the forecast, we use the past data as a, you know, as a start for the assumptions. Also, in each deal that you analyze, so we will take the 5-year capital growth, like the last 5-year capital growth, as the future property appreciation in the default scenario, and we will take the postcode yield, the average yield in this postcode, as the also like that we will use this for the forecast as well. So basically these are like the basic assumptions, but you can also define the best case scenario, the worst case scenario, and you can change it to whatever you think. Or you can use now Lendlord AI to also get some insights about this area, what properties are now, perhaps, you know, like some comparables, the average prices in this area, and then base your assumptions based on the insights you get from Lendlord AI as well. But yeah, because that you have some predictions, so it's always good. I think buy to let is for the long term usually, because
Yeah.
it's not just the ongoing cash flow, which is important. I would not invest, I think, in a property with negative cash flow. I don't think it's smart. Um, but it's not just that. You need to look for the long term and also look at the property appreciation and the opportunities that will come with the property appreciation. Because perhaps in 5 years you will be able to remortgage and raise more capital from this property and invest in another property. So I think the long term analysis is important, is even crucial, I think. And the metric that I would look is the IRR, which we show in the future analysis on Lendlord. The IRR will basically takes into account not just the net cash flow, but also the property appreciation and also the inflation. So because of that, we asked we put some default as values, but you can change the inflation expectation, because the inflation will impact the cost side of your property business. So we also factor it in the analysis. And the last thing that we factor in is the occupancy rate, because I'm not sure that all landlords actually use this field. Like, you know, when you analyze the property, you need to understand that it will not be occupied 100% of the time.
Yeah.
There are vacant periods. Like, you will have times with no tenants, which the costs are there. You will still need to pay your mortgage, pay the insurance, service charge, ground rent. If you have, like, all of these costs will remain, but the income will go down. So you have to take this into account. Because of that, we have this on Lendlord. So you can change occupancy rate. So for instance, if you put 92%, it means that 1 month every year the property will be empty. So you can test, you know, okay, let's say that this is the scenario, what it will do to my return for the short term and for the long term. So I think this is something that it's really important to take a look. And because that, like, the future, what you mentioned, the 10-year forecast, this is the thing. Like, let's see the 10 years also, if the occupancy rate will be very low, if property appreciation will go down, like, will not be as expected. So also to test the worst case, not just the best case. So it's important.
That's such a good point. I think there's a limit to how much a basic spreadsheet can really do for you. And
Yes.
there are a lot of landlords out there who get excited by the gross rent and they don't consider the reality of all the costs really that they've forgotten about. Like you said, any voids,
Yes.
inflation. Those are such good points you make.
Repairs. People
Yeah,
think about it.
the roof fell down sometimes.
Yeah.
Like you need to, there's so much, like it's
When
not
you
buying.
replace the boiler every few years, I don't know. Like there are so many things that like unexpected expenses that you need to take into account because like you need healthy cash flow, not just count on the property appreciation. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's so important.
Yeah, so anyone who ever asked us about how I need a deal, can you help me with deal analyzer? We have a spreadsheet, but honestly, if you want a really thorough and realistic overview of how a property is going to perform for you,
That's automated.
Lendlord already has that. So definitely check it out. It's if you're a
And
bit.
it's available on your website, I think now. I
Yes,
do.
yes.
Mm.
So yeah, we'll make sure that's all linked there
Yeah.
because that is one
Yeah.
of the biggest questions we get. Is how can you?
Especially if you're not very good at numbers, because not every, especially in a partnership, I would say, Becky, you're probably better
I
at the
had to
numbers.
make the spreadsheet.
Yeah, I think she's better at numbers. So for me to be able to use someone who isn't as number orientated,
plug and play.
it was easy for
Yeah.
me to use, and I was like, oh, thank God.
Yeah, or just drop. I
Yeah.
love that you've got that now. You just drop the listing in, and it will do the numbers for you. You don't have to even
Yes, yes, yes.
think about it.
Yeah,
I think.
try it out, and tell us what. Because, as I mentioned, it's a better version, but when it works, it's incredibly valuable.
Yeah, and at the very least, it gives you a good ballpark figure, so you have an idea. So then you can see whether it's worth investigating if those stats, those figures are actually even accurate, and go from that point.
Yes, yes.
How about navigating compliance and regulations? How does that work in Lendlord?
Yeah. So first, we are always on top of what's going on, and as you may know, there is the renters' right bill reform that is now in progress. By the way, on our website we have the renters' right bill news hub. So we actually publish a blog article, excuse me, every week with the recent updates about this reform. So things are going to change in terms of the way you need to work with your tenants, for instance, or like the tenancy agreement that it looks like we're going to be a periodic agreement. The reasons that like the causes that you can evict tenants might change. All of this stuff, it's available on our website. So if you want to understand more about this, and also available on Landlord AI if you want to ask questions about this reform. And of course, that we will adjust the platform to support all the changes. For instance, we have the tenancy agreement generator, which is very valuable if you want to just generate quickly an agreement. This is new. We have now auto signatures. This is yeah. Uh, I'm announcing it in your podcast. It's like it's something that will help landlords to send the agreement
To the tenant.
for signing. Yeah, like
That's so good.
automatically.
Then you don't have to use another software
No,
to get your
no, you
tenants to
don't need to
sign.
go to take it to DocuSign or to any different platform. From Landlord, you just in one click, you select the signers, which will be automatically if you generate a tenancy agreement, and then it will be sent to your tenant to sign.
So
You
is a
can
tenant
say,
is a tenancy agreement like the government approved tenancy agreement at the time, the template that's always on Lendlord?
yeah. So but we have something that is available is relevant for these days. But once the reform will be live, I think that we will need to change the format so to support the changes of the periodic tenancy agreements. So yeah, but it will be available on Landlord. It's available as well, and you can send for signature. You can also send other documents, by the way.
So
So
like
it's
inventory or something in the
yeah, if you
document.
want, yeah, you can use it for other documents as well.
That's brilliant.
Yeah, it's
We're like, now we don't have to pay for another.
I love that everything is under one roof, because it's such a pain to have to pay for this subscription and this subscription,
yeah,
and then try and integrate everything. And it's
absolutely.
I think we're in an era or a stage of trying to automate our lives and claim as much time back as possible and systemize things. But if everything is under one roof.
Before we continue, here's a quick thought. Ever feel like there's just never enough time to focus on what really matters in your business? You don't have to do it all alone. As they say, a great team makes everything easier. That's why we've partnered with the Freedom Geek. Their talented Filipino VAs help us with tasks like admin and podcast editing, just like for this episode, giving us the freedom to focus on what really moves the needle. If you're looking to reclaim your time and to work smarter, then check out the Freedom Geek. All the details are in the show notes. Now let's get back to our conversation.
Yeah, we encourage, like, by the way, encourage also the audience here, like, if you have things that you want us to implement, as I mentioned, I think this is, or I didn't, or I mentioned before we started the recording, for us, the user feedback is important. So, so if you have ideas or things that you want also to be automated and relevant to the Leno platform, just drop us a note on the chat box, or like approach us on social media, and we can add it to the roadmap and consider developing it.
Yeah, and the whole team are very friendly. Everyone we've ever talked to from Lendlord are really, really
You
nice.
have a whole in-house team of brokers and any legals, isn't it?
So in terms of finance, we do have so we allow the users to see all the whole of market in terms of products, and they can do whatever they want. They don't have to use Lendlord, but they can also start a digital process to obtain a mortgage from Lendlord. So you can review your mortgage illustration online, and there is a team in Lendlord finance team in the background that will support the application process. And if the user want discussion, more advice, you can just schedule a call. And on bridging finance, we act as a lender. So we can actually lend money to users that needs to purchase properties in auction, or they need, or they basically do BRR strategy or flip strategy. So they need to perform refurbishment. So we can also fund this. And it's also available online. So you can start a digital journey to apply for a mortgage and for bridging. And I think this is also something that is available on your website, if I'm not mistaken. So you can start a journey to first to understand your options, and then you can also apply online. And it also saves you time because we have online applications. So if you started a mortgage process or bridging process, you will see all the steps that you need to go through completion, and you will get notifications when there is a progress. For example, if the valuation was booked, you will get notification, oh, my valuation was booked. Now, like, okay, valuation was reviewed and now it's going to legal, I will get a notification. I need to chase my solicitor. So everything is automated, also on the finance side.
That's so good, because I remember our one of our mortgage products was coming to an end, and then I got a call from Lendlord, and they were like,
Ah,
"Oh,
nice.
like a reminder," and I was like, "That's really useful
Yeah.
for you to remind me. I need to secure a new product now."
Amazing.
Because if you miss the deadline, then you're gonna have to.
Yeah, on mortgages, yeah, you go to the SVR, the standard variable rate,
Yeah, and that's gonna
and
eat
it's
everything.
usually much higher
Yeah,
than the
more
fixed
expensive.
rate, the discounted rate that you get for the fixed period. So yeah, you have to be on top of it.
I was going to say, do you think that's where maybe how mortgage providers will be going more digital? Do you see that that's where it's
Yeah.
going, or you'll see more mortgage brokers you becoming more digital and using a space like Lendlord to be able to
Be a good fit.
fit
Yeah.
for their clients?
It's an interesting question. I think definitely you will see more and more finance organizations go, digital, like, or provide digital tools, digital processes. Um, we see it from, we also work with brokers, and it really depends. Like, there are, you can see people that would like still like to work manually or like with emails because it's the way they used to. um, and there are people that want more to embrace technology and utilize tools and make more efficiencies. But for other people, that's fine, like emails and like it's still working. That's totally fine. What I'm thinking is that AI can also help with these processes. So let's say that you have someone that wants to work with emails, but you want to work with digital processes. So AI can basically help translate. For instance, if you get this email, AI bot can read this email and create an application on your system, for instance,
Mm.
because the email contains all the data that the application needs, but in organized way. So
Yeah.
it's okay. Send me email that's not a problem, and then you have an extension that can takes this data into. So I think that the the AI is here to help us, and I think that this is like the trend, and I think that you can still you would be able to still find ways to work with people that still want to work with the old methods or manual methods, but if I want to work in digital, there is a way to translate it. So
Yeah, it is really going that way. And I think, at least for us, we have seen what it was like the old way and really appreciate
yeah,
the new solution that you've
Yeah.
created. Um, yeah, it's really great, really great. And it's also an app on your phone. You could
right,
be, I love that it's an app. It's not just a desktop
yeah, it's
product.
both.
It's both.
Yeah, you use the. By the way, you use the app or you use more like what you use more, like the
Yeah.
desktop or
I think I like the app because it gives me the notifications on my phone.
yes,
And then if I want to delve a little bit deeper, then I go
definitely
to the
desktop.
desktop.
Of course, yeah, yeah, yeah. It's the thing is that if you store the information, then you can access it from everywhere at any time on like from the app. So even if you're like doing like a viewing now, so like instantly you can open Landlord and analyze the deal in 2 minutes just to see okay what is the price, okay what do you think it will be rental income, okay I will put the price rental income and then you can see okay.
Yeah, that's a good point. So, say you were on a viewing and the agent was like, "Oh, it's no longer available, but we have this on the spot." You can see if it's
Yeah,
well
Yeah.
doing that viewing
Yeah,
whilst
then
you're there
booking
anyway or
in,
not.
and don't book in if it's not.
exactly.
Such an efficient solution. Obviously, Ruth and
It
I.
makes us excited because we have been those people ages ago when we first started that didn't have any of this in place. So we are so pro AI, especially when it comes to
Wow.
investing in
Yeah,
business.
because ultimately your properties legally are your responsibility, whether you give it to someone else to manage with their own letting system or not. So if you have to have your eye on the ball anyway, Lendlord is a great a great solution for that. To wrap up this episode, though, we do have a question we love
Yeah,
to ask our guests at the end of every episode, and that is a fill in the blank question. And the question is, honestly, the biggest lesson I've learned is, and it could be about app AI, it could be about property,
Live.
landlording, or just life, absolutely anything.
yeah, I would go. It's interesting because it's complicated what I'm going to say because it's like it contradicts some of my believing, but there are times that I'm saying that I think that I should like I think people should listen to their intuition, but because it's why it contradicts because our slogan is like based data on like take decision based on data, less on intuition. But if you are in something into something, okay. So if I look at myself because I'm in this area of PropTech property for many years, um, I live our product basically every day. I'm developing this product. I'm listening to users. Um, so there are times that I think that you need like I need to listen my intuition like to go to this direction or to develop this thing. Um, and the lesson is that I think that there are cases that, for instance, things that I wanted to launch and it was like I was like I had intuition like to do it, but all the reasons said no, like like or like it can be either like the environment, the team, the technology is not there yet, but perhaps you like, like there are times sometimes that you need to insist or like to see, okay, no, but I really feel, or of course you need to base it on data, but if you have the experience, you can count, like you can also trust your intuition. I think this is something that I learned, and when I did it many times, it worked. I don't know if it worked just for me, but there are times it doesn't work. But I think many times if you base your intuition on data, I think it sounds strange, but if you are into something and you have the knowledge and you have the experience, I think you can count more on your intuition on which direction you need to take. And it's relevant to technology products, but also to property, because if you have this intuition on this property and everyone tells you something that like it doesn't make sense, but you feel that that you can make this property valuable or worth a lot, so perhaps you should do it. I don't know, but
I
still
get what
base
you
it
I
on
know
mean.
what
data.
you mean. Yeah, that's a really good one.
I think I see when you say that, I see it as you're solving a human problem by creating a non-human tool, but the human problem doesn't necessarily have such a logistical answer
Yes,
uh, to why that is a problem or how you're going to solve it. So it
but
is
this is
a
the thing. This is the thing. We are the humans. We will take the decisions eventually. And
mm,
of course, that we need to base it on data and insights. And this is all the talk that we did right now. So it's so important. But eventually, in the end, it's us, and we need to make decision. And the intuition and the like, what we feel is also important, because there is meaning to that. Because it's not come out of nowhere. It comes from our experience, from our journey to date.
I'd like to also add as well, though, but the data also comes first from human experience.
Yeah.
So to trusting yourself first before the data that's now already existed, but that came from humans.
Yes.
So it makes sense to let the human gut lead and then
make informed
inform decisions
decisions.
with the data.
Yeah, and I think like one last thing, I think that you can see it even in employment. So people that just like if you are like junior to something, so you need to learn a lot. Then I agree that you need to base your decision more on data. You need to learn, or you need to get all this. But once you get more experienced and you have your knowledge, then you can see more people that you can make quick decisions because you know it, you feel it. You
Yeah.
don't need to get all the data points because you have the experience. So experience, it's, and I think like making mistakes is also important.
Yeah,
um, and you mentioned your first property. You didn't tell me what happened in the end because you said that you were attached to it emotionally, but
We
there are
spent too much time, too much money on
the
it.
renovation.
We
I
still
think,
have it
yeah,
today, but it just was too much time and it didn't need that much money put
okay,
into it.
but you learned so much.
Yeah.
yes,
This is the so you gain something that is more important than just profit from this property.
exactly. Yeah,
You gain the knowledge and the experience to do your next project. So I think this is
Yeah.
even more important, and this is what I meant in my lesson.
Yeah. You can't skip that part straight to data. You have to create that data of
I agree.
problems.
for
For
it
You
to
need to make mistakes. You have to make mistakes to learn. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Oh, thank you so much, Aviram, for being on this episode.
And thank you
For making Lendlord.
Thank you for making Lendlord. We really mean that. Like, we would never
Oh,
recommend
thanks.
anything that we didn't
Yeah.
really believe in, and we're just grateful that you've created this software for
And if
us
you're
selfishly.
and anyone listening out there, if you value time and location freedom, Lendlord is a fantastic, if not our top tool. I would say a top tool
Yeah.
that we use personally to help give you more time and location freedom back. I will put the link to the deal analyzer and just all the Lendlord links down below.
In the
There is a
show notes,
40% discount with
Yep.
our link, so take advantage of that. And explore it. You're gonna be, if you're a bit of a numbers nerd, then you're gonna really love looking at the data. But yeah, thank you once again, Aviram. We really enjoyed this talk and look forward to see how Lendlord is going to progress and solve all our problems.
Yeah, thank you very much, Rebecca and Ruth. It was really great speaking with you. I really enjoyed it. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.